the cameras flashed, the crowd froze. And just like that, Hollywood had a new obsession. Because the baby, Anna Nicole Smith, gave everything for him, just made her public debut.
Oh, it literally gives me chills just thinking about that moment.
Right. It is just so cinematic. Welcome to Sarah's Web Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Join us as we dive deep into the stories behind the fame. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we're breaking it all down for you.
We really are. And today we're doing a deep dive into a fascinating stack of sources. We've got articles from Entertainment Weekly, People, OK Magazine, and some really revealing raw red carpet interview transcripts.
And right off the bat, I want to clarify our mission for this deep dive because, we are not just here to do a shallow rundown of red carpet fashion.
No, absolutely not.
Our goal here is to really explore the psychology of young women stepping out from a massive, highly tragic shadow to forge a completely unexpected, fiercely independent identity. So I want you to picture the scene.
Okay, set the stage.
It is the 2026 Kentucky Derby. The flashbulbs are popping, right?
Mm-hmm.
The media is standing around holding their breath. They are fully expecting to see a blonde replica of a 90s pop culture icon.
They want the second coming of Anna Nicole Smith. That is exactly the script they had pre-written.
Exactly. But instead, out walks Dannielynn Birkhead, now 19 years old, sporting this edgy goth rock, vampire-inspired look.
It was such a shock. I mean, the media literally did not know how to compute it. She just walked onto that red carpet and set their entire script on fire.
She really did. And let's actually visualize this outfit for a second, because the details matter so much here. According to the sources, she wore what is described as a punk rave gothic dress.
Oh, wow. Just the name alone is a statement.
Right. It's a sleeveless black maxi dress, deeply corseted, with this draped sheer skirt, and it's covered in these large, dramatic white floral designs.
That sounds incredible.
Oh, it was striking. And she paired it with a black and white headpiece and a heavy gunmetal bracelet. But, the element that truly shocked everyone, the thing that broke the internet, was the hair.
Oh, the hair was a total departure from anything we have ever seen from her before.
It really was. She'd chopped off her signature long blonde hair, which of course was her mother's signature as well, and she went with this edgy pixie cut.
Yeah, and the color was wild.
Yeah, it was this super iced platinum color, but finished with these really harsh jet black tips.
Which is such a specific vibe.
Completely. And when reporters asked her on the red carpet what vibe she was going for, she proudly stated she was channeling an interview with the vampire modern-ish look.
Which I just have to say is such a brilliant, highly specific reference for a 19-year-old to make.
It really is.
I mean, it shows a level of curation and self-awareness that you just do not typically associate with standard teenage rebellion,
Definitely. I think about how most of us handled that phase of our lives.
Yeah.
I mean, it is one thing to lock yourself in a bathroom at 2 in the morning, dye your hair with a $10 box of black dye to spite your parents, and then, debut it at the breakfast table.
Right, exactly. The stakes there are so incredibly low.
It's so low.
Yeah.
But Dannielynn debuted this look on a massive red carpet at an event where the entire world literally expects her to be a pristine clone of a famous sex symbol. The pressure there is just completely warped.
It really is warped. And to understand the mechanics of why this caused such a visceral reaction from the public, you kind of have to look at how she engaged with the media in the past.
Right, because this wasn't her first Derby.
Exactly. If you look at her track record at the Derby, specifically in 2023 and 2025, she actively fed the public's nostalgia. I mean, in 2025, she literally wore one of Anna Nicole's vintage dresses.
Oh, wow. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, and then in 2023, she wore a top hat featuring photos from her mom's iconic 1992 Guess campaign.
So she's playing the role of the dutiful daughter, kind of carrying the torch.
Precisely. And her father, Larry Birkhead, had previously described her style to the press as girly and frilly. So for years, the media cultivated this really intense parasocial relationship with her, built entirely on the premise that she was a living memorial to her mother's glamour.
Wow. When you put it like that, it sounds like such a heavy burden for a kid.
It's an immense burden. So this year's shift to a punk goth rock aesthetic wasn't just, a sudden interest in a new fashion trend. Breaking a parasocial expectation like that, it is a sharp, intentional mechanism for resetting boundaries.
That makes so much sense. And before we dive deeper into that psychological shift, I just want to say, if you are loving these Hollywood twists as much as we are, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead, and you really don't want to miss how she styled her dad for this event later on.
Oh my gosh, yes, the dad styling is my favorite part.
It's so good. But let's talk about that boundary setting, because it brings us to the psychological weight of these clothes. The sources provide some incredibly candid quotes from Dannielynn that highlight the burden of this legacy.
Yeah, she was surprisingly open with the press this year.
Very open. She said she loves the comparisons to her mom because her mom was, quote, super pretty. But then she expressed this really profound frustration. She said, it's always like Anna Nicole Smith's daughter and never just Dannielynn.
Man, that quote just hits you right in the chest.
It really does. Never just Dannielynn.
Well, think about the mechanics of public grief for a moment. When you are the child of a tragic figure, and as a quick reminder for anyone who doesn't know, Anna Nicole Smith died of an accidental overdose in 2007 when Dannielynn was only 5 months old.
Just a baby.
Right. So when that happens, the public fundamentally projects their unresolved grief onto you. Society feels a collective guilt and this intense nostalgia regarding celebrities who die young.
So they basically use the child as a vessel. They project all those unresolved feelings onto her because, I guess they want a do-over.
Exactly, they want a do-over. They unfairly expect the child to replace the parent they lost. But a child cannot mechanically sustain the weight of a public's unresolved feelings. It's impossible.
It would crush anyone.
It would. So by cutting her hair and wearing this corseted Gothic dress, she is forcing a visual disruption. She is making it literally impossible for the public to project her mother's ghost onto her.
But I want to play devil's advocate here for just a second.
Okay, go for it.
So Dannielynn mentioned in one of these interviews that she feels the most confident and happy she's ever felt right now. But is putting on a heavy goth rock aesthetic actually finding her true self? Or is it just putting on a different kind of costume to hide from the paparazzi? Like, isn't it entirely possible that this is just a prickly shield?
You know, it's a really great question, and it's likely a complex synthesis of both.
How so?
Well, if you look at the underlying philosophy of goth culture, it is fundamentally about finding beauty in the darker, more complex realities of life.
Right.
It rejects the mandate to be relentlessly cheerful.
Oh, that's a really good point.
So for a young woman whose life started amidst a highly publicized, dark tragedy, embracing an aesthetic that doesn't demand bubbly, perfect sunshine makes complete psychological sense.
It's like giving yourself permission to not be the smiling blonde girl next door.
Exactly. So yes, it is a boundary, a shield, as you called it, but it is an authentic one. It's a mechanism that protects her while still allowing her to express a genuine part of her personality.
That makes a lot of sense. You can't just walk out into that kind of media crossfire completely unprotected. You need armor.
You definitely need armor.
And speaking of protection, we absolutely have to talk about Larry Birkhead's role in all of this. Because navigating global public pressure requires a rock-solid foundation, and the dynamic between these two is just fascinating.
The details in the sources regarding Larry's involvement in this transformation are incredibly revealing about his parenting style.
They really are. So Dannielynn decides she wants this dramatic chop and the platinum and black dye job.
Right.
Larry actually enlists a hairdresser friend of his to do it.
Which is brave of him.
Super brave.
Yeah.
Well, he admits to the press that he was, quote, bracing myself at the hair salon. He was genuinely worried about how it was going to turn out.
Which just strips away all the Hollywood glitz and leaves you with a very universal father of a teenager reaction.
Right. He's just a dad stressing in a salon chair. But the crucial takeaway is his ultimate response. Because he told reporters she's at the age to do what she wants to do. And he fully supported her coming into her own.
That is so rare in Hollywood.
It really is. And we see how deep that trust goes because Dannielynn didn't just style herself for the red carpet. She actually styled Larry.
Yes. She took complete creative control of the whole family look.
She bluntly told her dad he had no sense of style, which is just a classic teenage daughter burn.
It's so ruthless.
So she puts him in this clean-cut, edgy black suit, but it has these bright silver lightning bolts on the lapels.
I saw the pictures, and that visual alone tells you everything you need to know about their dynamic.
Right.
I mean, Larry's willingness to wear silver lightning bolts because his 19-year-old goth daughter told him to, it shows a dad who prioritizes his daughter's autonomy over his own ego.
100%.
He isn't trying to meticulously control her image to protect some kind of brand. He is actively participating in her self-expression.
And that need for autonomy didn't just stop at her wardrobe. It bled right into her career choices.
Oh, this is the best part.
It really is. This is where the story takes what I think is the ultimate plot twist. And stay tuned and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss what's coming next, because this detail blew my mind.
It blew my mind, too.
For years, the tabloids have been writing these speculative pieces about when she is going to sign a modeling contract or when she's going to leverage her name for a reality show or an acting gig.
Right, because that is the established pipeline for the children of celebrities. You turn 18, you sign with a modeling agency, you launch a skincare brand.
Exactly, that's the playbook.
Yeah.
But on the red carpet, Dannielynn revealed what she has actually been doing. She just finished her first semester of college.
A normal college student.
A normal college student. And her major is forensic science, specifically criminal studies.
It's just, wow.
I know. And she casually added that she is considering a double major in culinary arts because she loves baking.
Forensics and baking. I mean, if we break down the underlying methodology of those two fields and contrast them with the world she inherited, the irony is absolutely profound.
Please unpack that contrast for us, because I was thinking the exact same thing. How does the mechanism of forensic science compare to the mechanism of the tabloid culture that surrounded her mother?
Well, think about the environment that defined Anna Nicole Smith's life and ultimately her tragic death. The tabloid mechanism relies entirely on chaos.
Complete chaos.
It relies on anonymous sources, emotional manipulation, sensationalism, engagement farming, and a complete lack of verifiable truth. It is an industry built on subjective speculation.
It's just a feeding frenzy of rumors. There's no solid ground.
Yes, exactly. No solid ground. Now, look at the methodology of forensic science. Forensics is grounded entirely in objective reality.
Right.
It relies on the chain of custody, empirical evidence, lab results, and the scientific method. It is literally designed to methodically strip away human bias, emotion, and public opinion to uncover the verifiable truth.
It's almost a perfect inversion of her mother's life in the media.
It is the exact opposite.
It really makes you wonder if she chose that major consciously as a rebellion or if it was just a subconscious craving for stability. Either way, it's an incredible reclamation of control.
Absolutely.
She is stepping into a discipline where the truth isn't whatever a gossip magazine decides to print that week. The truth is what the science proves.
It is deeply empowering. She is rejecting the chaos that consumed her mother's narrative and choosing a discipline that literally brings order and empirical truth to dark situations.
That is such a powerful way to look at it.
And then you pair that intense analytical work with baking.
Right, the culinary arts double major.
Yeah. Baking is the ultimate expression of methodical creation. It requires precise measurements, chemistry, and patience. And what does it result in? It results in warmth and comfort.
It's a fascinating balance. It really speaks to how remarkably grounded she is as a person. But, you don't survive that level of inherited fame and public scrutiny without a serious anchor.
No, you don't.
You don't just naturally become a well-adjusted forensic science studying college student when the whole world is literally waiting for you to crash and burn.
That is so true. The sources make it abundantly clear that the structural anchor in her life has been Larry Birkhead. And their history with the Kentucky Derby provides a really great window into how he created that structure.
The Derby isn't just a random weekend getaway for them, is it? It's much deeper than that.
Oh, it's a foundational pillar. So Larry and Anna Nicole actually met at the Barnstable Brown Gala, which is this massive, highly publicized pre-Derby party back in 2003.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, Larry was working as a photographer at the time. So since 2010, Larry has taken Dannielynn to the Derby every single year. It is a deeply personal, full-circle tradition.
But the key here is what happens the other 363 days of the year.
Yeah. Exactly. Outside of that one highly controlled, nostalgic weekend, Larry raised her strictly out of the spotlight.
He didn't move her to Hollywood.
No, he didn't parade her on red carpets in Los Angeles. He didn't put her on social media to build a brand or monetize her childhood. He kept her in a remarkably normal environment in Kentucky.
That is everything.
Right. By making the Derby the one controlled variable where they engaged with the public, he gave her the space and the privacy to evolve at her own pace.
He essentially let her be boring, which is the absolute greatest gift you can give a celebrity child.
It really is a gift.
And if you need proof of just how normal and relatable she actually turned out, there is this fantastic anecdote from the sources about the Barnstable Brown Gala this year.
Oh my goodness, this story completely strips away any remaining Hollywood veneer.
It really does. So they're at this glamorous gala, right? And the legendary Patti LaBelle is performing.
A total icon.
An icon. And out of nowhere, Patti LaBelle pulls Larry Birkhead up onto the stage and essentially forces him to sing and dance in front of the entire crowd.
which is a nightmare scenario for most people, but exponentially worse if you are the father of a 19-year-old girl.
Oh, absolutely. There's nothing more embarrassing than your dad trying to dance.
Mhm.
So Larry is up there trying to keep up with an R&B legend, and he admitted to reporters later that he went down with his hip and realized, quote, "I'm not 30 years old anymore."
He physically got stuck.
He got stuck in one motion on stage.
And Dannielynn's reaction to this was just flawless.
She was absolutely mortified. Later on the red carpet, a reporter asked her how she would rate her dad's onstage performance.
And she didn't hold back.
Not at all. She didn't offer some polished, PR-friendly answer. She didn't coddle him. She ruthlessly rated his dancing a 2 out of 10.
A 2 out of 10. That is the most authentic teenage daughter response you could possibly script.
So good.
In that moment, the media wasn't looking at the tragic heir to a pop culture dynasty. They were just looking at an embarrassed kid watching her dad throw his hip out trying to dance to Patti LaBelle. It fundamentally humanizes them.
It is so refreshing to read. It's just a reminder that behind all the flashbulbs and the heavy gothic makeup, she's just a normal college student navigating a somewhat embarrassing parent, just like the rest of us.
Just a normal kid.
So if we pull all these threads together, the wardrobe, the psychology of public grief, the forensic science, and the dynamic with her dad, what is the core takeaway from this deep dive for the listener?
I think the takeaway is really about the power of defining your own narrative.
Absolutely.
The media showed up to the 2026 Kentucky Derby waiting for a sequel. They wanted the blonde hair, the tragedy, the drama, the echoes of a life that was cut tragically short. But Dannielynn denied them that sequel.
He said no.
Right. Instead, she presented a fiercely independent, confident 19-year-old college student. She showed them a young woman who channels vampires, who bakes, who studies crime scenes with empirical precision, and who lovingly roasts her dad's dance moves.
Yeah.
She set boundaries using her style, and she set boundaries using her career choice.
She completely flipped the script. And, it leaves you with this really lingering, provocative thought. Think about how society views the children of famous, tragic figures.
We project so much onto them.
We do. When they step into adulthood, we are almost desperate to look for the ghosts of their parents. We look for it in their faces, in their clothes, in their mistakes. We expect them to carry the weight of the spotlight that consumed their family.
We expect them to be the parent.
Exactly. But perhaps the greatest tribute a child can possibly pay to a parent who is destroyed by the blinding chaos of fame is to simply choose a normal, unglamorous, fiercely independent life, entirely on their own terms.
Choosing the quiet pursuit of truth over the roar of the crowd, that is a profound legacy.
It really is. You've been listening to Starscope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning into this deep dive, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.